Hey guys, hey, welcome. My name's Kurt Anderson. We're here at Truco Machine. I'm with the founder, the owner, the president of Truco Machine, my dear friend Andy O'Connor. Andy, how are you?
I'm doing well. Good to see you, Kurt.
Hey, this is such an honor. What a privilege to be here at Truco. You have an amazing, incredible facility. We're going to talk a little bit about the origin story and how you got things started here at Truco. Before we go there, what is Truco Machine? Talk a little bit how you just thrill customers on a daily basis. What's going on here?
Well, Truco Machine is a machine shop that specializes in helping production facilities maintain their equipment. So we work primarily with maintenance departments or engineering, and we build them new parts for their machinery to keep them rolling.
Well, it's awesome, and you're serving all sorts of industries like pharma, food industries. We're going to get into that a little deeper, but the legacy of the company is you're a lifelong entrepreneur, and the legacy here is that it's Truco Engine, but now it's Truco Machine. Talk a little bit about how you got started in your early entrepreneurial career with Truco Engine, and then we're going to lead up to the transition.
Sure. Well, my father, James O'Connor, actually started Truco Engine in 1969. He was a hydroplane racer, pretty successful in the smaller classes, but he had a real passion for building the engines, and he did very well at it. And that passion and his knack for doing it led him to quit his day job at Dunlop Tire and go out on a limb and start an automotive machine shop. And right on through when I was a child, through the 80s and 90s, we were very successful at that. Um, and, we had probably 10, 12 guys working in the shop back then. We actually located in the Simon Pure Brewery when I was a little kid, which was a pretty cool location. Um, but then as we hit the 90s and towards the 2000s, when I was coming into the business, um, the engine market really changed. You had, you know, fuel injection, CNC machining, and just technology changed the way engines work on a daily basis. And instead of getting, you know, 40,000, 50,000 miles out of an engine before it needed rebuild, you get 150, 200,000. And so the engine market really started to decline. And so by the time I came into the business, it was in a little bit of rough shape. We did the best we could. We made a very successful small shop when we moved here to Grand Island Boulevard. But eventually, I knew I needed to make a change so that we could survive and thrive in a different market.
Well, I'll tell you, any entrepreneur can tell you that it takes, there's going to be potentially not only a pivot, but multiple pivots. Share with everybody, say there's an entrepreneur out there like, man, I'm going through a tough time and there's a pivot on their mind. What was that transition like? Was it an aha moment or was it like a gradual, long term? Talk about how you went from engines to now into Truco Machine.
Well, the engine business, the business that we found the best success at was in the big natural gas market. And we were doing lots of big Caterpillar and Waukesha cylinder heads, which were, providing good income and a steady stream. But the business kind of went away as uh, the facilities that had these cogen plants, their contracts expired to keep them going, and then one by one they started shutting them down. And it was very clear that like the writing on the wall was that we're not going to have this work. And it was kind of like I got to find something else to do. And this is kind of the top of the mountain as far as I've found in the engine business. And so I started thinking about it, and I happened to have Mike and Shannon over to our house because Mike Day, our CNC machinist, is, my wife's good friend from growing up's husband. And I started talking to him, and he was working at a shop, really not getting paid, and talking about CNC machining. And it kind of gave me a light bulb go off in my head. And then I went to the performance racing industry show in Indianapolis for the engine business, and that's a real big show. And I looked at all kinds of engine parts and this and that, and that's all old hat to me, right? What caught my attention was they had a CNC machine making a whole Cummins engine block out of a billet piece of aluminum, and it was just running for days and days. You could just watch it do its thing. And so then I came back from that. And I'm like, hey, that's a good idea. So I got a hold of Mike. We talked it over a little bit and found a mill, bought the mill, brought Mike in, and, you know, we started the transition there in 2017. That's when we brought the mill in. So we did both engines and CNC machining until 2025 last year, when I finally said that's enough of the engines. And now we got 4 CNC machines and a bunch of manual machines we brought in, and we're looking to the future to keep going.
The rest is history, and you haven't looked back. What advice would you give for an entrepreneur out there that's thinking like, man, I need to make a transition? A lot of folks don't have that courage. You know, they're kind of, hey, this is how we've always done it. I really admire how you had that courage to make that transition. What advice would you share for an entrepreneur that needs to get on the other side?
If you can tell it's not working, try something else.
Try something else. Great advice. So, guys, we're here at Truco Machine, and we're going to dive in a little bit deeper on some other topics, but thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon.